Hey there, fellow explorers of the cosmos. Today, we're diving into the electrifying world of energy storage, where two titans clash: batteries and capacitors. You use them every day in your phones, laptops, and maybe even your electric car. But have you ever stopped to think about how these powerhouses actually work? Batteries and capacitors are like two sides of the same coin. Both store energy, but they do it in very different ways. Batteries are like the marathon runners of the energy world, storing large amounts of energy over long periods. Capacitors, on the other hand, are the sprinters, releasing bursts of energy quickly and efficiently. In this grand cosmic dance of energy storage, who will emerge victorious? Join me as we explore the strengths and weaknesses of each contender and uncover the future of fast charging. Batteries are the workhorses of the energy storage world. They power everything from our smartphones to electric cars. But how do they actually work? Imagine a group of tiny chemists working tirelessly inside a battery. These chemists facilitate chemical reactions that release electrons, those tiny particles that carry electricity. These electrons then flow from one side of the battery to the other, creating an electrical current. This flow of electrons is what powers our devices. Batteries are great at storing large amounts of energy, which is why they are used in so many applications. However, these chemical reactions have a downside. They can be slow and inefficient, especially when it comes to charging. Think about how long it takes to charge your phone or laptop. That's because batteries rely on those tiny chemists to do their job, and sometimes they need a little extra time. Now, let's meet the other contender in the energy storage arena: capacitors. Unlike batteries, which rely on chemical reactions, capacitors store energy electrostatically. Picture two metal plates separated by a thin insulator. When you apply a voltage to the capacitor, one plate becomes positively charged and the other becomes negatively charged. This separation of charges creates an electric field between the plates. It's like an invisible force field that stores energy. When you connect a capacitor to a circuit, this stored energy is released in a sudden burst, like a bolt of lightning. This ability to release energy quickly is what makes capacitors so unique. They are like the sprinters of the energy storage world, capable of delivering quick bursts of power when you need it most. In today's fast-paced world, we demand instant gratification. We want our devices to charge quickly so we can get back to our busy lives. This need for speed is even more critical for electric vehicles, which rely on batteries for power. Imagine waiting hours for your electric car to charge. That's why researchers are constantly searching for faster and more efficient charging solutions. And that's where capacitors come in. With their ability to charge and discharge quickly, capacitors have the potential to revolutionize the way we power our devices. Imagine charging your electric car in minutes instead of hours. That's the promise of capacitor technology. Section 5. The limits of battery charging. While batteries are great at storing energy, they do have their limitations, especially when it comes to charging speed. Pushing too much current into a battery to charge it quickly can cause it to overheat and even explode. Think of it like trying to force feed a hungry person. They need time to chew and digest their food. Similarly, batteries need time to absorb and store energy safely. This limitation of batteries is a major roadblock in the development of faster charging technologies. Researchers are constantly working on improving battery technology, but there are fundamental limits to how fast they can charge. That's why many researchers are turning to capacitors as a potential alternative. Section 6. Capacitors to the rescue. A faster charging future. Capacitors offer a tantalizing solution to the limitations of battery technology. They can charge and discharge much faster than batteries, without the risk of overheating or damage. This makes them ideal for applications where fast charging is crucial, such as electric vehicles. Imagine pulling up to a charging station and being able to fully charge your electric car in the time it takes to grab a cup of coffee. That's the kind of future that capacitors could enable. But capacitors aren't just about speed. They also offer several other advantages over batteries. For example, capacitors are generally safer and more reliable than batteries. They don't contain any flammable or corrosive materials, and they can withstand thousands of charge-discharge cycles without significant degradation. Section 7. Supercapacitors, the next generation of energy storage. While traditional capacitors offer significant advantages over batteries, a new breed of capacitors is emerging: supercapacitors. These technological marvels take the benefits of capacitors to a whole new level. Supercapacitors, also known as ultracapacitors, can store even more energy than traditional capacitors. They achieve this by using special materials and advanced designs that maximize their energy storage capacity. Imagine a supersized capacitor capable of holding enough energy to power an entire city block. That's the potential of supercapacitor technology. Supercapacitors also boast incredibly fast charging and discharging rates, making them ideal for applications that require rapid energy delivery. They can charge and discharge in seconds, making them perfect for regenerative braking systems in electric vehicles, capturing and releasing energy during braking. Section 8. The challenges of capacitor technology. While capacitors, especially supercapacitors, offer a promising path to faster charging, they are not without their challenges. One of the main drawbacks of capacitors is their lower energy density compared to batteries. Energy density refers to the amount of energy a device can store relative to its size or weight. Batteries are like energy-dense powerhouses, packing a lot of energy into a compact space. Capacitors, however, are more like energy sippers, storing less energy for a given size or weight. This lower energy density means that, for the same amount of energy storage, a capacitor would need to be larger and heavier than a battery. This can be a limiting factor in applications where space and weight are critical, such as portable electronics. Section 9. The future of capacitors, a world of possibilities. Despite the challenges, the future of capacitor technology is bright. Researchers around the world are constantly working to improve the energy density of capacitors, making them even more competitive with batteries. One promising area of research is the development of new materials with higher surface areas. By increasing the surface area of the electrodes, scientists can increase the amount of charge a capacitor can store. Imagine a sponge with millions of tiny pores. The more pores it has, the more water it can absorb. Similarly, a capacitor with a higher surface area can store more energy. Researchers are also exploring new designs for capacitors, such as three-dimensional architectures, to further boost their energy density. Section 10. Conclusion. A new era of fast charging. As we venture further into the 21st century, the demand for fast and efficient energy storage will only continue to grow. While batteries have served us well, capacitors, especially supercapacitors, are emerging as a viable alternative, promising a future where charging times are measured in minutes, not hours. Imagine a world where you can charge your electric car in the time it takes to grab a cup of coffee or power your smartphone for days on a single charge. That's the kind of future that capacitor technology could enable. The race for the future of fast charging is on, and capacitors are off to an electrifying start.